Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. With me on the show is Shell Bhatnagar as well. Well, it's looked out to be a great day of trade when it comes to autos, metals, PSU banks, the IT stocks, a lot of pockets that are doing very well. The Nifty also back above the 22,000 mark. It's holding on to the gains that it made and further escalated itself 140 points higher in trade as far as the Nifty is concerned right now. Shell, looks like it's another great day and we're going to be having a great weekend ahead.
So Sakshi, this is nearly the fourth day of gains, and like we had discussed in our market commentary before stocks opened at 9:15, the Nifty is headed for a record high. It's a consistent performer right through the morning, and at the moment nearly at day's high, 22,046. So two things are necessary. First, we close above 22,000 today. It's about an hour from now, and of course. Then we look forward to what happens next week. Remember, there will be little or no action from the US markets on Monday because they'll be shut. So we'll be working on our own cues, and those cues are getting better and better if you look at how sentiment is faring. I'll just share with you the data that's coming in from the internals of Nifty. Another stock has started contributing, Sakshi. It's L&T on the index, now up 2.5%. The 135 point rise on the Nifty, about 25 points come from L&T, about 21 from Infosys, 15 from M&M. Maruti brings in 10 and ICICI brings in 10 points. There are very few losers worth talking about. So that's how the Nifty is structured at the moment. And if you look at how the advanced decline has shaped up on the Nifty, you look at just 10 stocks which are in the red. So 4:1 is the advanced decline ratio of the Nifty, which is very, very strong. And of course, we have a series of record highs coming within the Nifty. Notably, when you look at this is led by today M&M, Maruti, Bajaj, Auto. So these are three auto stocks. Then you have a fresh new high, Sakshi, SBI Life. We rarely discuss about this counter, but it's also hit about 4% higher, 1511. You have the usual suspects in Coal India, BPCL, NTPC and SBI. So the entire PSU pack and large parts of the auto sector are doing phenomenally well on the Nifty. Apart from that, very, very strong volumes coming into some PSU stocks in the high beta, low ticket space, Sakshi.
Absolutely. Time to welcome our guest on the show then. Kunal Rampia joins in. He's the founder of The Streets. Welcome, Kunal, and good afternoon to you. Tell us where exactly you are focusing on in the current setup in the markets. You also have those which were not performing have also started to take the front row. For example, the autos are now in top gear, along with pharma stocks also that are buzzing in trade, along with the PSU banks and the entire PSU stocks that have been rallying over the last few days. Tell us where exactly would you put your fresh money now?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Shelji and Sakshi. Thanks for having me on the show. So if you look at the overall market, yes, certainly the indexes are outperforming as of now. In fact, as Shell sir was just not explaining, Nifty is near to all-time days high and heading for the new high also. Here, there are a couple of counters which have really started performing right from the support level. So as of now, my focus is on identifying those opportunities where the risk-reward ratio is favorable. Among those counters, the first is Asian Paints. What we have seen is this counter actually started from the yesterday's extreme low levels and started making higher top, higher bottom. I think that there can be a fresh buying opportunity with the favorable risk reward ratio at the present level. One can initiate a buy. I think the stop loss on this can be 29.75. and the targets can be 3080 to 3090. The another such counter, which is again starting from the extreme low levels itself, and that's Tata Chemicals. I think at the present level, Tata Chemicals also made extreme bottom and now showing the strength of recovery. So yeah, with the higher top, higher bottom formation, one can initiate buy on Tata Chemicals. Also, the stop loss on this can be 965, and the targets can be 1050 to 1060 levels. And the third one is the PSU banking counter, which is IDBI Bank. See, this counter again, we saw a sizable correction, and from the extreme low levels, again, this counter has started making higher top, higher bottom. So the volumes are also encouraging. Today morning, also you can see the highest uptick volume in the morning itself. Considering these observations, one can initiate a buy on IDBI Bank also. The stop loss will be 90, and the first target on this can be 100 and even the new fresh highs.
Okay. All right, so those are the two stock ideas that you've shared with us. It's Tata Chem and IDBI Bank, and we'll continue to keep an eye out on both of these. On auto specifically, Kunal, could you help us understand what is your view on M&M now? And would you still go ahead with M&M after the rally that we've seen on this one? Or do you think that the others would also offer you better value at this point in time? Those which have not moved so much and so fast would be something that you'll be looking at?
See, on the daily chart, M&M certainly gave a fantastic breakout near 1750, where if you can look at the charts, it was head and shoulder breakout right near the high. And from there, the counter made a crazy highs of around 1850s. Now at this level, I would wait for this counter to consolidate a bit or say retrace a bit and then initiate a buy. So I think the good support level to watch out on the chart will be 1790 to 1795. By any chance, the counter manages to come near those 1800 levels, then with the stop loss of 1775, one can certainly buy, and the targets can again be as high as 1950 to 2000 levels. But at the elevated level, the risk reward ratio is not really favorable. I'll wait for a bit of consolidation or a price correction.
Okay, what we'll do is let's shift focus to another sector, and this has been humming. I'll request the PCR show to show the Nifty Pharma Index. It's just hit a fresh record high after about 4 days of sideways to weak trend. And Sakshi, it's unbelievable the kind of build-ups that we are seeing in the pharma space. Overall, if you look at it in the F&O segment, we track about 16 to 18 pharma stocks. Just 2 are in the red, which is Sun Pharma and Apollo, but very, very strong moves coming into IPCA, into Glenmark, into Metropolis. So these are the 3 or 4 stocks that are doing phenomenal well. Let's look at Kunal. Kunal, what picks in the pharma space interest you? Where do you see sustained momentum getting built?
So, Shalji, as you rightly said, yes, the entire sector is doing good. And even if you look at the Glenmark, the counter is doing really good. On the pharma space, if I look at Glenmark itself, then in just 2 days, counter has raised, they made the bottom at around 785, and right now it's trading at 880. I think the strong traction is seen there. One can initiate a buy even at the present level, considering today's strength. The stop loss on this can be 850, and the targets can be as high as 950 to 975 levels. The another sector, another counter which I'm looking in this is the Syngene. Now, if you look at Syngene International, this counter has also shown a good recovery from the extreme low levels. Today is also trading in the green itself. I think with the stop loss of 755, one can initiate buy on Syngene International, and the targets can again be as high as 790 to 795. Yeah, the entire sector is performing, but these 2 counters are looking more attractive as well.
Okay, let's just drill down a little bit more in the pharma sector. Sakshi, we look at Natco Pharma. This is a company which is now doing 17% higher, 1040, and this is on the back of very heavy and good earnings that the company declared, and a very, very strong guidance for the current as well as the next financial year. What's really good is that about 1 crore 25 lakh shares have been traded, and this is 18 times the 5-day average. So a blowout on price, a blowout on volume, and this is backed by a very, very strong move on the fundamental result side. Kunal, although it's overheated now at 17%, but what are the charts telling you?
See, Shalji, if we zoom out of the chart and look at the extreme historical data, 2017-18, I think counter was trading at around 1050, and since then this turned out to be the resistance zone itself for the counter. In today's move, it has attempted to break that particular level again, that particular zone. So yes, 1040, as you said, is little overheated, but if it manages to close near to these levels and sustain near those 1050 levels, I think a new fresh rally can also emerge from that level. Again, we'll wait for a bit of consolidation move. If that turns up, then the stop loss can be 1010, and one can initiate a buy with the the extreme high targets of around 1200 plus levels.
Okay. There are enough and more opportunities in this market and so many pockets that are rallying in trade again. It's difficult to look at where exactly should you be focusing and asking Kunal some of the questions. Of course, let's look at the real estate pack now, 1.5% higher. A lot of these stocks are coming back in flavor. So, Purvankara, for example, Prestige Estates, for example, these are the stocks that are buzzing sharply in trade. You also have stocks like Mahindra Life Spaces Brigade, Shobha, these counters also that are up and about in trade. How do you look at this fresh move on the realty pack after some gap? It is coming again. Do you think this will be sustainable, Kunal, and any particular stock that you would warrant here?
Certainly, Sakshi. Again, the trend on the charts is very much strong and it's making clearly higher top, higher bottom formation. If you look at the recent correction, that was a price as well as time correction. So most of the counters are actually forming a channel formation or say sideways consolidation. The one best counter as far as the formation is concerned is Prestige Exchange. If you look at the high of January 2024, that was at around 1440, and from there this counter has come down making a channel formation. It's on the verge of giving a breakout today. Today it's up by around 6.5%. I think if the counter manages to close about 1210, then with the stop loss of 1150, one can certainly initiate a buy on this, and the first target can be the previous high, which is around 1440, and followed by even the new higher levels.
Amazing. So that's as far as the real estate pack is concerned. There's another space that is like, very, very robust right now, and that is the entire insurance space. Let's look at New India Assurance, about 15.5% higher in trade for this one. And not just this, stocks like even GIC Ray or even HDFC Life, SBI Life, they're also pulling up as well. A very, very smart move coming in on all across the board. Anything that strikes you? Among the insurance majors, I mean, 11% surge on GIC, 15% surge on, NIACL. How would you really look at this move?
See, again, Sakshi, if you look at NIACL or GIC, the massive rally was seen a couple of months back, and then the price entered into sideways consolidation. And today is again a surprise positive move on almost all of them. But again, as you know, these counters are at the very high level, elevated level. We'll stay a little cautious. But among entire segment, if you look at HDFC Life, I think that's still near to the low levels and offering good risk reward ratio at 590. One can think of initiating a buy on HDFC Life, assuming the entire sector outperforming. So these counters will also pick up with the stop loss of around 580. One can initiate a buy on HDFC Life, and the targets can be as high as 625 to 630. And request to our viewers that if those levels turn up, keep trailing the stop loss. I think this has a lot of potential to reach to those 675, 680 levels also.
Sakshi, let's look at the good things in life as well. I was just going through the NSE 500 list, and the most interesting thing I saw was that, of course, you have 500 stocks in the NSE 500. 44 stocks have hit 52-week highs. And within these 44, 33 are at record highs. We've discussed some of them that are in conversation just now, and some names are afresh. Federal Bank, 164 rupees 15 paisa for you, about 4.9% higher. There's a record high on National Aluminium, 164.60. On purpose, I'm taking high beta, low ticket items where you see a lot of participation coming in from, how should I say, retail investors. The other stocks which are in this price category are not many, but let's look at those between 200 and 300 rupees. They also attract a lot of interest, investor interest. MRPL we've just discussed 2 days ago. Bank of Baroda, NTPC and Minda Corporation. So these are the stocks that are moving in a very rapid fashion. Kunalji, any view on Federal Bank? This is again driven by a very strong set of earnings that the bank reported, and today you have a price as well as volume breakout. 4.7 crore shares have been traded. What is your view?
Certainly, Shel sir, if you look at the yesterday's move, 4.5%, and today follow through is also on the chart, as you mentioned rightly, the price and volume breakout on the chart. And if you look at the overall structure, right from the extreme low levels of 130, this counter is clearly making higher top, higher bottom formation. So at present level also, one can think of accumulating, even on decline till around 160 levels, one can think of accumulating. The stop loss, the positional stop loss on this can now be placed at 155. So if counter breaks those 155 levels, then we'll have to rethink. Otherwise, all levels seems to be the best level to keep accumulating. I think that the steam can take the prices to as high as 180 to 185 levels also.
Okay, a lot of stocks.
That's a view that is coming on Federal Bank. Sakshi, I'll just mark one more stock that is doing extremely well, and that is SBI Life. 1513, a fresh record high. Would you take a shot at this one, Kunal?
Certainly, sure, sir. In fact, today only we saw the fresh breakout coming on the charts that is around 1500 levels. Count has just been up by 3% from that breakout level. The way we are witnessing these days price moves, where the breakout comes and then follow through is also almost of the equal thrust. Considering that, I think one can initiate a buy even at SBI Life's present level, that's 1515. The positional stop loss on this can be 1480. And the targets can be as high as 1550 to 1575. Again, these are counters which are trading at all-time high, fresh high levels. So advice to all our viewers will be to trail the stop loss and hold the position. These counters might just surprise on the upside to crazy high levels also.
Okay, so that's SBI Live for you. Let's also talk about the IT names that are doing well, 1% higher for the index, and you can see Wipro is now the top of the charts as far as the Nifty is concerned. It's up 4.5%, and it's at a fresh 52-week high level at 544 odd levels as well. And of course, along with it, we also have Infosys, TCS, even LTI, Mindtree moving up in trade. So these are some of the stocks that are doing well as far as the IT basket is concerned. Would you take a shot at the IT names, Kunal, and tell us in case there is anything that finds your attention in the IT pack?
See, Sakshi, the only counter which I like the most among the all IT names is the Wipro itself. To be precise, the breakout came on 22nd December itself, and that breakout was placed at around 450 mark. Since then, this counter is clearly making higher top, higher bottom formation and making, this counter is offering every decline as a buying opportunity. Even at the 540 levels, I think this counter is poised for a new rally. One can initiate a buy. Even on decline till 520, one can think of accumulating. The positional stop loss on this can be 510, and the targets can be as high as 620 to 625. These are based on the weekly charts, and I'm talking about the positional view on the same. So until this 510 is taken out on the lower side, I think this counter can be bought on every decline with the positional target of 600 plus levels.
Okay. So that's Wipro for you from the IT pack, where Kunal is finding some positive moves. Let's again look at some spotting. Okay, metals is next that I will take your attention to. Nalco is the one that's catching my attention. It's 5.5% higher in the F&O space on Nalco, and of course the entire basket has been moving up along with it as well. The Nifty Metals Index is also up about 1% in trade right now, and when we look at the list of winners, of course, apart from Nalco, we'll find Jindal Stainless up 6%. You have Ratnamani Metals that's moving up. SAIL you have, Hindustan Copper, Tata Steel, JSW Steel, all of them up and buzzing in trade. The strongest counter on charts, Kunal, for you from the metals pack?
See, National Aluminium again, reason being it made a fresh all-time high. In fact, it gave a breakout of the previous high also.
Yes.
If you look at the precise levels, 7th Feb we had the high of around 165, and from there the counter tumbled down to at least 130 levels. People were scared of buying, but look at the reversal and the new high again, which clearly highlights the strength inherent in the counter. So I think the best among all will be National Aluminium at this point of time. Even Tata Steel, if you look at the formations, a perfect curve formation. It's a slow counter, but one can think of accumulating that also. The stop loss on Tata Steel can be 135, and the first target can be 160 to 165 again.
Sakshi, another stock that we need to get into attention is Bosch. You remember once the earnings had come in, we had discussed this stock, and this is the fourth day of the rally, and of course a fresh record high, 28,362 for you, and this is when you look at the price, it's 1.6% higher, accompanied by a 4% surge in open interest. I'm just marking the stock. We are not taking a view because it's already overheated on the charts. So that's how the market is at the moment. Sakshi, yesterday we had discussed Polycab and the dying moments of trade. It is now up 3.7% from yesterday's close. At the moment, the price that I see on Polycab is 4,734. That's one also doing pretty well. And what is also ticking in the green that we normally don't talk about. Okay. You remember Mr. Chokalingam was with us yesterday, and he talked about another stock, Craftsman Automation. This is an auto ancillary, and it's trading at 4,305 rupees. The reason why he mentioned this was that the stock had corrected from 5,494, and at the moment trading below its 200-day moving average, but strong volume and strong price action today. Again, just the price that I'm marking, Sakshi. So Polycab, Bosch, and Craftsman Automation, my sincere apologies, all of them are 4-digit, highly costly stocks, but price is given by the market. We are in the business of marking it just.
Absolutely, Shell. And the other one that we need to mark is Paytm now, which is at a 5% upper circuit again. Now, this is after the stock had hit a 5% lower circuit yesterday, and we're again seeing a move today. In the second half particularly, it came from the day's low, which it had opened lower at around 325 odd or so early in the morning after the markets had opened. But at this point in time, it's again at a 5% upper circuit. Kunal, would you have a view on Paytm? Of course, it's a difficult stock at this point in time. In the last 10 days, there's been all sorts of volatility that the stock has seen, and confusing investors and viewers alike. Tell us, what would your thought be on this one?
Actually, being very honest, yes, I do have a view, but the only problem here will be that risk management is a key, because if you keep the stop loss little lower than the circuit level, you might not get the exit opportunity itself. But the view is based on the weekly chart, the extreme bottoms of 28th March 2022 and the second bottom of 28th November 2022. If we connect those two levels, the support is right placed at 320. Counter made the low near to that level itself, and it has recovered. If someone wants to take a extremely risky bet, yes, this level seems to be a good level to buy. The stop loss has to be, as per the technicals, has to be lower than 310, and the targets can be on the upside. We know the extremely oversold counter. Any positive announcement, the buyers may not get the chance to buy. Similarly, sellers will not exit. So the targets can be as high as 405 to 410 from where the second round of selling actually began. But yeah, this level seems to be good, but extreme caution because of the circuit behavior of the counter.
Okay, so extreme caution is advised on Paytm at this point in time. A lot of moving parts again. Let's mark out a few prices on the Nifty. We've discussed Wipro and SBI Life. We do have M&M that continues to trade at its fresh all-time high levels, 1826 odd or so, currently being seen about 4% higher. Maruti Suzuki, there's no stopping, 11,403 again, fresh record highs for this one also today. Bajaj Auto, another one where there is a fresh record high, 2.5% higher, 8,328 is the current level that we are looking at. So it's the autos that are taking the top spot as well. Adani Ports, that's the one that's picking up some pace. I can see 2.7% of an uptick for this one, 1,303 currently on Adani Ports. What we'll do is we'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll discuss more stocks with Kunal on the other side. Many thanks for being with us, but stay with us.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
Celebrate 32 years of leadership in business news with Business Today. From the groundbreaking AI cover of Sundar Pichai to PM Modi's exclusive on G20, we redefine headlines. Now our 32nd anniversary issue explores India 2029, the 5-year agenda, with industry titans sharing exclusive insights. So, just BT it for unparalleled perspectives. Business Today, 32 years of leadership, innovation, and business brilliance. Subscribe now. In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
Welcome back to Market Today. We are tracking equities on this lovely Friday afternoon. Ahead of the weekend, the mood is extremely good. The Nifty is consolidating about the 22,000 point mark, up about 133%, 133 points. The index has held on to its morning gains and is now consistently in a trajectory which is heading higher. You have Nifty Bank 0.5% higher. You have the IT index 1.2% up at about 38,461. And when you look at the broader markets, the mood and the sentiment across the board is fairly buoyant. Even at almost 3 p.m. now, 2:58 p.m., the advanced decline is favoring bulls in the ratio of 2:1. On the National Stock Exchange, you have 1450 shares in the green, about 770 in the red. In terms of top gainers, it's the Nifty Auto Index, which is 2% higher, fresh record high. Pharma Index 1.65% higher, fresh record high. Very smart moves coming on the Nifty Small Cap and the Mid Cap Index. And when you look at the broader NSE 500, out of 500 stocks, 320 are in the green. So it's the bulls that are ruling the roost on the Lal Street, and it's the mid caps, the small caps, and large parts of IT sector which are in thick of long trade. Sakshi, what are you watching?
IT, in fact, Shell, there is a NASSCOM report that's come on the IT sector as a whole, with the outlook coming in, and perhaps that's also leading to this upward move. They believe that FY24, we've seen the IT sector, showing, displaying growth, positive growth, and in FY25, they believe that there is an expectation of higher growth in revenues going forward from here. And there is another point. They're also saying that in FY25 there could be better hiring as expected in the IT space. So and especially high tech and BFSI, as far as telecom is also concerned. These are the three pockets that they believe that can continue to drive growth for the IT sector as a whole. These are some of the key points coming in from NASSCOM on the entire IT packet. Therefore, you do see the Nifty IT about 1.2% higher in trade right now, and a whole host of stocks that are moving up in trade as well. Let's welcome our guest on the show now. I think Nilesh Jain is with us, AVP Technical Research at Centrum Broking. Nilesh, very good afternoon to you and good to have you with us on Business Today television. You know, of course, the markets have come back after a long time about this 22,050 odd mark is what we are seeing, just about 100 points away probably from the all-time high levels as well. How do you see the market structure at this point in time? Is it going to be sustainable, and where exactly your focus is in the markets?
Very good afternoon to you, Sakshi. Good afternoon, everyone. So yes, looking at today's pullback that we saw, Nifty is shy away from hitting all-time high, and looking at today's sustainable move above 22,000, it looks like Nifty is getting ready to move towards a new record high in the coming week. Looking at the participation from the index heavyweight L&T and specifically HDFC Bank now, where we are witnessing a trend reversal on the chart. So, given this kind of participation, I think Nifty may test a fresh record high and move towards 22,200 to 22,300 levels in the coming weeks in the spot levels. And looking at the derivative data, where we earlier we saw a lot of call writers were active at 22,000 strike, are now witnessing unwinding of the position on the call side. So there will be a short covering move, and Nifty is likely to inch towards 22,200 to 22,300. Bank Nifty, on the other hand, we believe that it may witness some amount of patch-up rally after a lot of underperformance in the past. I think Bank Nifty will also move towards 47,000 to 47,500 in the coming week. 46,000 on the lower side is likely to act as immediate support. So watch out for that. Overall, we are still very much having comfort in the Nifty compared to the Bank Nifty.
Okay. Nilesh, namaskar and a very warm welcome to you on this wonderful Friday afternoon. We have been waiting for this kind of a weekly close where not only do you move above 22,000 on the Nifty, but it's a consistent 4-day uptick. And you very rightly say that next week, most probably, we'll see a fresh record high. It's almost a given that the market will close above 22,000 today on the Nifty. Right at the peak, and very well said, L&T has started to contribute. Remember, the earnings were pretty good on L&T, but like I said, a lot of good news has already been sold into, but a fresh move on L&T also starts. Nileshji, the interest rate cut theme is reverberating very strongly in the market, especially on the auto side. Would you have a favorite among auto stocks?
Absolutely. So Nifty Auto Index hit a fresh record high today, and we believe that this momentum is likely to continue. And on the upside, the next target for the Nifty Auto Index comes around 20,800. Currently, it is at 20,400. So out of all the auto names, we are liking Tata Motors, which is also shy away from his hitting a fresh record high today. I won't be surprised if in the coming week we see the Tata Motors stock to move towards 960 to 980 mark. So yes, this particular counter looks strong on the chart and can be bought at current level, can be added on declines, keeping stop loss below 910. The upside sort of target comes around 1000. So this particular counter can also be looked at. And apart from that, Hero MotoCorp is another counter from two-wheeler space, which is constantly forming a high top and high bottom formation. So next target for Hero Moto comes around 5,000. Currently, it is near about 4,900. Stop loss can be placed at today's low near about 4,840. So yes, Nifty Auto Index looks attractive on the chart. And apart from that, we are also liking mid cap and small cap ITs.
Okay. Well, from autos then to aviation now, there are some news flashes coming in on Cogensis. So let me just share with our viewers. This is with respect to SpiceJet. There is a report that suggests that CMD Ajay Singh and along with Busy Bee, these are the two airways that have jointly bid for Go First. And look at the stock now. Let's look at the stock. I think the stock has inched up higher in trade as of now. And I think there is a sharp uptick on this one. There are also reports that suggest that CMD Ajay Singh has bid for Go First in his personal capacity as well. Could you look at, Nilesh, the SpiceJet chart and tell us what are you looking at over here? And would you chase this move?
Yes, actually, so this stock has witnessed a good momentum in last few months now. So it has formed a good base near about 30 to 35 zone, and from those levels, constantly we have witnessed a continuation of the up move and high top and high bottom formation as well. The stock recently found support near about 61, 62 zone, and we have witnessed today a strong move with a good volume activity. So I think this momentum may extend further towards the 75 to 78 in the near term. So those who are already holding the long position can continue to stay put in this particular counter, keeping trailing stop loss below 64. Whereas fresh long position, I would better wait for some correction or either wait for some breakout on the chart. Post then fresh long can be added, but at current level, it is better to stay away.
Sakshi, I'll just add a qualifier on SpiceJet. The all sorts of fundamental pain. There's talk of salaries being delayed and lots of issues in terms of how should I say, how market share has moved and how the general demeanor is of flights, etc. While stock prices are a function of how the markets move and how the liquidity is, this particular company should at best be viewed with a very, very high degree of caution. And such news that the person has bid for a particular airline in his personal capacity surfaced when Air India was also being privatized. So one has to take this with an extreme pinch of salt and also look at one independent view, in fact several independent views before looking at SpiceJet. So that's the view. And Adani Ports, Sakshi, I think it's been a long while since we've checked out this particular one. Of course, a fresh high 1306, and a new trend has begun on this one after a gap of 2.5 weeks. So let's look at Adani Ports. Nileshji, what are the charts telling you?
So just a disclaimer, we recommended this particular counter to a client via option of to 1290 call. But I think yes, at current level as well, this particular counter is looking positive. So at current level, Adani Port 1300 call can be bought, which is currently trading at 38 rupees. The upside is still open for 1330 to 1350 for the February series. Today we have witnessed a good consolidation breakout and a good addition can be seen close to 1.5%. So long build-up is happening, counter is an uptrend, and 1300 call, which is currently quoting at 38 rupees, can be bought in the range of 36 to 38. One can keep a stop loss below 26, and upside target would be 46 and 56. As far as underline is concerned, the upside target comes around 1330 to 1350. In an underline, one can keep a stop loss below 1290.
Okay, that's a view coming in on Adani Ports. Again, it's almost 3:08 p.m. Let's do a quick roundup of the market, and then we'll also look at how other stocks and other indices are moving. Sakshi, let's take a detour to the Nifty Mid Cap Index. We haven't spoken much about it for a while. The index itself is 0.7% higher, 49,172, and the strength that we saw since the morning in terms of advanced decline continues. About 70 stocks remain in strength on the Nifty Mid Cap Index. Let's look at the top gainers here. More than 5 stocks have hit, more than 6 stocks are more than 5% higher. So Ipca Labs and Prestige, you had, if you remember, marked the railway space, the real estate space early morning. Prestige Real Estate is up 6% at 1202. Food company Devyani International almost 6% higher on very strong volumes of about 1 crore shares. The price is 159. Within the pharma space, Sakshi, Gland Pharma 2000 on about 8 lakh shares, 5% higher, and Biocon 289, 5.5% higher on volume of about 1 crore 89,000 shares. Sakshi.
Absolutely. Let's take Nilesh's view on the entire pharma pack as well. You know, of course, Ipca Laboratories 7.7% higher is the top of the F&O space. Glenmark Pharma 7.5% higher again. Biocon, that's the one that's moving up too. You know, we did see Metropolis Healthcare, and you've named quite a few of them that are buzzing in trade. The strongest counter from the pharma space on charts, Nilesh, right now, which one do you spot?
So Sakshi, for the time being, looking at the structure of Biocon, I feel that there will be a follow-up move in this particular counter. Although it is a beaten down counter, a lot of underperformance was seen from this particular counter. I think at current level, the risk and reward is still looking favorable. One can keep a stop loss below 278 and buy at current level, and advisable to buy on declines for further upside move to continue towards 305 to 315. So these are the two targets on the upside. And apart from that, Granules is another stock within the pharma space that particular counter constantly forming a high type and habit of formation. And specifically, this particular counter has given a big breakout from a rounding bottom formation and consolidation of past 3 years now. So position target for this particular counter comes around 480 to 500. Currently, it is trading at 456. One can keep a stop loss below 430 and buy Granules as well.
Fair point. The other stock, Sakshi, that's doing fairly well is the power space. Remember, we had touched upon West Coast Paper yesterday. The company had inaugurated a plant. The counter is now 4% higher. Let's see whether it's just a West Coast theme as far as paper is concerned, or this is something across the board. Okay, this seems to be a single stock that's moving within the sector. Malu Paper is also up 5%, but let's ignore that. So West Coast Paper doing pretty well, 3.9% higher, 658. They had inaugurated a plant yesterday, so capacity addition as well as top line growth coming in. What else is moving, Sakshi? Now I think the market is sort of slowing down. We have just about 15-20 minutes left ahead of the activity on the weekend, and there are 3 days of gains being factored in, so not many long positions that are being taken in as far as this particular week is concerned. Remember, Nifty's low was 21,500, and we've moved up to 22,035. So that's a clear 535 point uptick, which is doing a good amount of, how should I say, good work as far as markets and sentiment are concerned. It's getting really difficult, Sakshi, for me to even pick one particular stock which we can get Nilesh Bhai to answer. But why don't you try?
Absolutely. Well, you know, the one part that has been missing from action is the FMCG space thus far, right? Nilesh, tell us how do you look at some of the companies here? We're looking at some moves again coming in on Nestle, for example, 1.5% higher in trade. Tata Consumer Products also picking up some strength. Do you think this is you know, space that one should be looking at actively now? Is there any particular stock that is ready to fire away?
Right, Sakshi. So FMCG sector as a whole have underperformed, and now looking at the reversal in few specific counters that you have rightly pointed out, Nestle India is one of them, where we have seen a good base formation now at 2400 to 2450 zone. I think at current level, the risk and reward is still very much favorable for the long position. 2400 is a very strong support. The upside is open up for 2600 to 2650 as a position bet. So Nestle India could be one stock that can be looked at within the FMCG space. Tata Consumer, this is another counter where we have seen a lot of outperformance, and the stock is in an uptrend. The structure looks positive for 1180 to 1200, and the stop loss can be placed below 1120. So as of now, looking at the market, which is trading at all-time high, it is advisable to shift focus to defensives as well. So FMCG, pharma, we have already discussed. So Nifty IT is another space where we are also keeping our eye on.
Fine. So the defensive's coming back in flavor right there, and you are keeping a keen eye on all of them right now. Let's talk about the banking space, which we have not touched thus far. And one particular stock which I wanted your view on, Nilesh, and that is Federal Bank. 164.6 currently, and the stock is definitely at an all-time high level. It's been on the move over the last 5 days. It's surged 12%. And of course, we've seen last 6 months odd, the move has been to the tune of 22%, but half of it just came in the last 5 days. How would you look at Federal Bank?
So Sakshi, we have already witnessed a good spurt in last couple of trading sessions. It is already up close to 12% this week. So after this kind of run up, it is advisable to wait for some profit booking to get a fresh entry in this particular counter. So those who are already holding the long position can continue to ride this rally. The upside is still open up for 175 to 180, but at current level, the risk and reward is favorable for the fresh longs, and rather I would wait for some dip towards 160 to 155. That can be a good entry level.
Okay. I'm constrained to mark a stock which is in 4 digits, and this is a themed share. Let's look at HDFC AMC, Sakshi. We'll avoid sort of stock picking at this point of time because we are ahead of the weekend, and Wall Street is not going to be open on Monday, so that's a pain point. The reason why I mark HDFC AMC, Sakshi, is that it's at a record high, 38.75, and I'm going to share a chart with you. It's how many months? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's an 11-month rally which has now peaked at a record high, and let's see how it goes from this level, driven primarily by the excellent number of SIPs that people are putting, the new fund launches that are coming, and HDFC AMC, I think, is the 3rd largest AMC in India in terms of assets under management. Therefore, you see this kind of a move. The income of AMC companies is in direct proportion to the rising number of SIPs, because they make a small percentage cut on the funds that they manage as management fee, Sakshi.
Okay, we'll keep an eye out on this one too. HDFC AMC right there. Right, let's discuss some more stocks then, and I'll take the view of Nilesh onto those stocks too. A whole host of movers from the broader markets. Data patterns, it was a big deal, and of course apart from this, so therefore following it we saw a 9-10% surge on this one. Nilesh, do you track this stock at all, and would you have a view on this one?
Yes, Sakshi. So it is in fact on the verge of a breakout. Although we have seen a good reversal in the trend today, if you look at the volume activity, close to 15 lakh, and if it breaches the 2050 levels on the upside, so to be specific, 2040 is the breakout zone. If it breaks that particular zone on the upside, then the momentum will again continue towards 2150 to 2200. So structure wise, it is looking positive. For fresh entry, one should wait for some dip towards 1980 to 1950. Stop loss can be kept below 1880. The upside is still open up for 2150 to 2200.
Okay. That's a wonderful, wonderful pick. All right, let's talk about some more pockets that are buzzing. Metals pack. Let's discuss that with you, Nilesh. Anything that strikes you in the metal counters as of now? We discussed Nalco with you, and that is the one that you really are positive on currently. Anything else that apart from Nalco that you like?
Nothing great from the metal space for the time being. I would rather wait for some a decisive and a move that gives confidence. But as of now, it is merely a pullback that what we are witnessing in the overall metal space. Only Nalco is looking strong on the chart. The rest of the stock is not giving that kind of conviction to me. So I would, stay away for the time being.
Okay. That's the view coming in on the metals pack then. All right. Anything else as BTST or STBT, Nilesh, that you'd like to point out for our viewers?
Right, Sakshi. So we already discussed about Adani Port, and from the IT space, one stock that is looking strong on the chart, that is Emphasis. So overall, as I mentioned, the Nifty mid cap and small cap ITs are looking, these stocks are looking positive. Emphasis has given a fresh breakout today, and if you look at the OI addition today, close to 13.5%. That is a good, strong, long build-up is happening in this particular counter, and it has given a good breakout from a falling trend line as well. So the upside is open up for 28.50 on immediate basis, and post that the second target could be 28.80. Stop loss can be placed below 2780, and emphasis can be bought at current level and on declines. The another stock that we are liking is from the insurance space, SBI Life, where we have seen a good breakout today. The stock has taken off its triple top sort of formation and hit a fresh record high today. The upside is open up for 1530 and 1550. So these are the two target on the upside. Stop loss can be placed below 1475. And SBI Life, even if you look at the derivative data for this particular counter, close to 5% fresh OI addition can be seen. So good long buildup is happening here as well, with a good price and volume breakout.
Okay. Sakshi, a couple of stocks and themes that I'd like to mark. We've just discussed HDFC AMC. There is another ETF that you and I often talk about. This is Mafang, Mirai Asset NYSE FANG ETF. So this is a very, how should I say, a closely held, a very concentrated portfolio of just 11 stocks on the Nasdaq, and all of those 11s are known to us. Apple, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, then even
Netflix.
Nvidia, and maybe 4 or 5. It's just hit a record high. Netflix, did you say Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay, so even Netflix. So this is the one that's hit a record high, and yes, of course, this is right there on the screen in front of us. This is actually an ETF, which is a fund that's listed on the exchange, therefore called the exchange traded fund, and this has hit a record high. One of those outperformers on the Indian market as far as the last 6 months are concerned. It was somewhere like 32, 36 rupees about 6-8 months ago, and has now more than doubled to a fresh record high. So a lot of themed stocks, Sakshi, are doing phenomenally well.
Absolutely, Shell. Let's now look at, we are just 7 minutes away from the close of the day. Let's quickly look at the big movers at this point in time, and we'll come back to Nilesh to understand, how to be prepared for the next week. So I'll just wrap up some of the trades for you. So amongst sectors, you have oil and gas that's now looking at some profits being taken off the table, 0.6% lower in trade. Remember, this is the space that has been running for the last 3 or 4 trading sessions, and now is looking at some profits being taken off the table. PSU banks also down in trade, 0.4% of a downtick coming in on this one. These two pockets have been clearly the front runners for the markets for the last few trading sessions, and there is some sensible profit booking really taking place there. Autos, realty, IT as part of the sectoral rotation now coming back in flavor, healthcare coming back. You have metals also that are shining bright, and even the broader markets, the mid and the small caps, that are holding on to half odd percent kind of gains coming in. On the Nifty, Wipro M&M, SBI Life, Adani Ports, Bajaj Auto, Maruti, L&T, Tata Motors and Hero Moto as among the top movers. On the downside, however, it's again ONGC, Power Grid, SPI, Britannia, Reliance Industries is now in the red, 0.7% lower. Asian Paints, slight profits being taken off the table. Axis Bank, NTPC. These are the laggards at this point. Among the movers on the F&O space, it's Ipca Laboratories, Steel Authority of India, Glenmark Pharma, you have Metropolis Healthcare and Federal Bank. These are the 5 movers as far as the F&O portion is concerned. Nilesh, do you? Of course, profits being taken off the table as far as the oil and gas and the PSU banking story is concerned. Where do you see these two pockets headed? Because these were the drivers up until thus far.
Absolutely, Sakshi. So we have seen a lot of spurt in these two particular sectors. Also OMCs or oil and gas, which were in flavor so far. So today's profit booking, I think, is might give the opportunity to make a fresh entry on the long side, but it is advisable to wait for further more declines, specifically in the PSU banking space where we are liking State Bank of India, but not at current level. It is advisable to buy in the range of 720 to 700. That will again give a good attractive risk and reward ratio. And our position target for this particular counter is very much intact of 800. So from OMC space, we are still liking IOC, HP, and BP, all these three counters, where it is again advisable to wait for some meaningful correction to get into all these counters. But yes, looking at the structure, it is quite evident that going forward, see further another follow-up selling amid profit booking in this particular space. So better shift the focus towards defensives, as I mentioned earlier. So pharmaceutical, IT, FMCG, these are the few pockets that are looking positive. And also not to forget, cement pack is also looking strong on the chart.
Fair point. 326. Let's take a detour, Sakshi, and look at how the small cap index has performed in terms of volume breakouts. We've discussed NALCO many times. This is of course also a BTST as far as Nilesh is concerned. 166.55, 3.5% higher. The turnover is about 1365 crores on NALCO. Then let's look at Glenmark, 7.5% higher, 873, and 759 crores worth of turnover. We have Data Patterns 2017, 8% higher, 306 in terms of turnover, 306 crores. We have IDBI 91.25, 1.6% higher, 270 crores worth of transactions happening. All these counters have multiple volume breakouts in terms of when we compare them with the 5-day average. What else is looking good? JK Lakshmi Cement. This is the first stock that we had discussed today morning, and 960 rupees, 5% higher. The average is about 1.9 times the 5-day average of 10 lakh shares. We also have stocks like Graphite India, 4.7% higher, 575, and about 27 lakh shares have been traded. 3 minutes to market close. The index will settle above 22,000 as far as the Nifty is concerned, and this is a very, very big plus. A close on the weekly side after 4 days of advance and above a certain resistance, which is also a change of digit, is extremely important as far as charts are concerned. So 122 points higher, 22,036. The index has sort of done a fantastic job today, led by L&T, led by a host of auto shares and a host of software counters as well. The Bank Nifty 46,371, 151 points higher. IT has taken away the laurels today, 1.1% higher, 458 points in the green, 38,458, and a host of indices such as the auto index, the pharma index have hit record highs. Sakshi.
Last 1 minute to go before the market shut shop. Good time for us to ask Nilesh what the strategy should be for investors for the next week. Where should one be keeping their focus now in terms of the Nifty versus Nifty Bank? Where exactly do you see the next driving force coming in from?
Right, Sakshi. So it looks like Nifty is definitely going to close above 20,000 mark, and on a weekly basis, it will be considered as a good weekly close for the Nifty. So I'm just keeping my finger crossed for the coming week, where Nifty is likely to inch towards its record high, and target for the Nifty comes around 22,200 to 22,300. Bank Nifty, we expect a patch-up rally here as well. A lot of underperformance was already seen. I think now is the time for the Bank Nifty to give a pullback, and pullback may extend further towards 46,800 to 47,000. Stop loss can be placed below 46,000 on the closing basis. Apart from that, we are keeping eye on stock-specific action on index front. As I mentioned, the confidence is definitely coming on Nifty index compared to the Bank Nifty. But yes, broader markets are also looking strong, and a few sectors that we have already highlighted, we are keeping eye on. And from stock specific individual stocks within Adani Group, Adani Port, as I mentioned, already looking positive. Mid cap and small cap IDs are looking strong. So yes, going forward in the coming week, we expect a lot of volatility and expect a positive move to continue.
Okay, well, thanks a lot then, Nilesh, for being with us onto this special edition and helping all our viewers really navigate through the market strategies, top stocks to focus on, and the strategies ahead to follow as well. Many thanks, Shell, also for being with us onto this special edition. And with that, we wrap up this special trade for all our viewers. Hope you all have a great weekend ahead, and we will see you on Monday morning with opening trades as far as Market Today is concerned. Do stay logged on to Business Today Television, as a lot of action follows from the world of business and stock markets up on your screens even now.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
PTM again, you know, a 5% downtick. You know, what's next for this one? And of course, a lot of investors are still keen on knowing